No. Geographically? Geographically. This is cool. So I would say make sure that pretty face is showing.
Yes, true.
They're going to want to see that fucking thing. They're going to want to see that fucking thing, Alan. That fucking face. You good? Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another special Hyperconscious Meets Conversations Change Lives podcast with A-Laz, and then we got two young guns, Big Pat and Big Nate. I'm going to let Alan introduce them, and then you can tell the story of how you met, and now they're here. We did a workout together. It's a whole thing, as they say. So Alan's here too.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? So, yeah, welcome to Conversations Change Lives meets Hyperconscious podcast. We've got Pat and Nate here. Met them at Anytime Fitness, noticed that they were working out hard, and I, took the opportunity to go over, ask what they were about, and if they're really into fitness, and got to know them a little bit. We started talking, and then eventually, we were like, I could tell they were very passionate about fitness, and I wanted to have them on the podcast and talk about it.
Let's let these fine, handsome gentlemen introduce themselves. You can just say your name, say what you're into. Just pretend it's like a dating profile. Like, pretend it's a Tinder profile.
I'm Patrick Cole. I'm 20 years old, and really I've gotten into fitness as of lately, and I've been going 7 days a week, trying to bulk and just trying to get bigger and healthier with a healthy lifestyle. With nutrition too and all that, I've just been trying to incorporate it all, become a healthier person, healthier mind.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Awesome. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. That's my bad. We're sorry.
Okay. Big Nate?
All right, I'm Nate. I'm 18 years old. I've been working out hard consistently for about a year and a half. My dad actually owns the gym that we worked out at earlier.
I shouldn't have been slamming weights. I didn't know that.
Doesn't matter.
Right on.
I've been active my whole life, played sports my whole life. Baseball, golf, hockey, lacrosse, basketball.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Right on.
Awesome.
So I think we were saying earlier, Nate and I were talking, and I don't know if you were in the bathroom at this point, but when I tell people, when they say how long you've been working out for, I say, it went from me saying I had 12 years to now it's 6 years the right way.
Yeah.
I may have been working out longer than that, but I have not been efficient the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there's a divide. I could say I've been working out for 15 years, but how many of that was actually quality workouts?
So I think quality is a relative term, though, right? Because those first 6 years of the 12 got you to a point where you felt now like you've mastered that craft to an extent where where do you draw that line?
Right. Well, I think that's why it's huge to sit down with two people that are 10 years younger than we are.
I know.
They're in the beginning stages of their fitness journey, relatively, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like we'll do Pat first. What have you learned so far? You started off somewhere and you had a baseline.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever it was, 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you have a new baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you learned? What changes have you made? What would you say to somebody else your age that's going through the growing pains of learning how to work out, learning how to get to the gym, learning how to prioritize it?
I'd say really you just have to get into a mindset and then not leave that mindset. So you have to go to sleep with the same mindset to be getting up in the morning and getting to the gym and getting the work done. Whether you get in there for, 20 minutes or like Alan said this before, whether you get in every day, 7 days a week for 20 minutes, that's better than going 3 days a week for an hour. So it's really just consistency is key, what I've learned, and being consistent is the way to get results, basically.
For sure.
Yeah, to piggyback on that as well, I think it's more important to establish the habit. And if you go every day, the activation energy it takes from you to get from your bed to putting on your shoes, to putting on your gym clothes, to taking pre-workout if you do or don't, or whatever your morning rituals are, to getting into the gym, I think that's where people fall off, is getting into the gym consistently enough.
Because the first days are always going to be, they're horrible. If you're going every day they're rough when you first start, but as you go, you get more resilient. You get faster recovery. It starts becoming easier. It's more of a process you do every day. It becomes familiar, and you continue it.
So earlier in our preamble.
Whoa, I want Big Nate's answer.
Okay. All right.
How dare you?
All right. All right, Kevin.
This is all about. Just so you know, everything's all about Alan.
Yeah. yeah. Go ahead. I was going to ask questions. It wasn't about Alan.
I know. But the thing is, I'll forget the question.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be 15 minutes down the road.
Hammer it.
And then
Let's
Nate's
do
just
it.
going to be sitting there, and I'm going to be like, hey, man. What's up? How you doing?
Yeah. No, you're right.
So same questions.
Round robin.
Yes.
Probably just staying patient would be like the biggest thing, because I feel like a lot of people like believe they're gonna see results like overnight, and in reality, like it will take like years for like most people to reach their goals, like fitness goals. And like the biggest thing is you gotta fall in love with training. You gotta actually want to be there, because if not, you're gonna fall off. You're not gonna put 100%, 110% effort into the gym. So like that's where you'll slip up. So,
Right.
yeah.
I tell people, when people say, what do you suggest I do? I usually say, do what you'll actually do.
Yeah.
I could give you 50 things.
Yeah.
Go do an hour of cardio.
Yeah.
If you don't like cardio, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's why I like boxing. Boxing's good cardio.
So
Yeah.
Do what you're going to stick with to start.
the problem is like, if they don't like cardio, they might like it once they start doing it.
They might.
Right.
Or once they see changes and they associate, oh,
Well-
if I did cardio 4 times last week and I look better this
and
week.
I look better this week.
That's all it really takes. And then you realize, like, people don't like doing a lot of things. Like, you don't like meal prepping until you're driving somewhere, and like I've stopped on the side of the road to eat my meals.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, I'd be at McDonald's. Like, I didn't like doing it, but I liked how convenient it was when it came to it.
Nobody wants, it's inconvenience. Everyone wants the convenience.
Right.
Nobody wants to take the time to prepare their meals for the week. But if that's what you need to do,
Right.
you need to
If
do
that's
it.
in line with your goals,
Yeah.
you need to do it.
And I think most importantly is if you do it long enough to see the benefit, the habit will stick.
Right.
You know, I always say people rarely do. Negative habits tend to be reinforced right away, right? Like you go out drinking with your buddies, you get all the laughs right then, you know? Whereas if you wait and not drink, the benefit doesn't come till the next morning,
Right.
where everyone else feels like shit and you don't.
Yeah.
And so I think with the gym, it's the same deal. Like it sucks at first, like you said. But once you do it long enough to start getting the benefits and waking up every morning stronger, healthier, happier, you start to lock in on that and you go, oh, okay. So subconsciously you think, oh, this is what got me here. I want to feel even better than this. I want to keep doing
Right.
this. And then as soon as you start to fall off, you start realizing like, oh, I'm not feeling as well, or I'm a little bit more lethargic, or like whenever I eat right for a good amount of time, like a week, I never really want to fall off that because I notice that my training's better.
And bad habits are really just moving backwards.
Yeah.
It's more convenient, bad habits, you know?
Yeah.
They're easier, less work, less stress.
Pat, I know you got a deep voice. Let's hear that thing.
Sorry.
Get that voice up, sir.
Yeah.
I have
You're
a
getting
kind
all,
of low tone.
getting all shy.
Nah,
Just
I
hammer it.
have a monotone.
You want me to sing? I'll sing.
Kev, I've seen him do it.
If I got to do it.
If you want him to rap.
So we were talking earlier, and they asked me if I had a job, which
Okay.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I live in a box under the bridge, but I want to know what both of you got. Like, so one of my favorite questions to ask is, what do you want to accomplish before you die? So we'll start with Big Nate this time, so Alan doesn't chime in and try to steal us away. So what, like, if for me, it's like when I die, I want people to look and be like, he was just a genuinely good person. Like if I needed him and I called him, he'd be there for me. He would give the shirt off his back. I just want people to know that I'm a genuinely good-hearted person. That's really what I want. I want to help people. I want to help change people's lives.
Make other people happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Big Nate?
All right, so I mean, for my like my goals and dreams, like for like when I'm older, like so senior in high
Yes.
school right now, I go to a trade school, so like I'm studying electrical engineering, but actually I don't want to do that for like my career, my job.
Ooh. Change up.
So I really want to own my own business when I'm older, like have like financial freedom, do what I want. Like I don't like there's nothing wrong with working like 9 to 5, but I just feel like that I wouldn't be happiest in that place.
Right.
Definitely.
So like I really just want to like have the freedom to do what I want, like build something from the ground up. You know, like do my own thing really.
So I love that. I have a question for you because you're 18 years old,
Yeah.
senior in high school, and I remember for me personally, I didn't take an entrepreneurship course until my master's in marketing. So I went to business school at WPI, graduate school, right after. And I was an electrical and computer engineer originally, so we are similar in that regard. You are very young, and you're already thinking about lifestyle design, like designing a life that you love rather than just doing the 9-to-5 rat race type of thing.
Yeah.
What catalyzed that shift? Because I think a lot of people, Steve Jobs has a great quote. He said, "How do people know what they want when they've never seen it before?"
Yeah.
So you obviously have been exposed because your dad's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's what?
I think that's like probably the biggest driving force. And then honestly, like people sharing like over social media, like YouTube, you see all like the fitness lifestyle YouTubers and everything with them, and it's like I want that. Like that's
the
how
lifestyle.
I want to live my life. Yeah.
So what is it that's most
Definitely.
appealing? Is it the freedom
It's
aspect
just like
of it?
the freedom to like, be my own boss and do what I want really. Like just
Okay.
have like I guess financial freedom, but like live my life on my own terms.
Okay, I love
Yeah.
that. So one of the big parts of my mission is to try to get more people to start thinking in a more entrepreneurial mind. I think that the education system was created for the Industrial Revolution. You punch a time card, you work, you do the same thing repeatedly. Now I think creative thinking, self-starter mindset, motivation, all that kind of stuff is really important for other people. Like if you wait for someone to tell you what to do in this economy, you'll probably be doing a whole lot of nothing. Yeah. So one of the big parts of my mission is to get people thinking like you are. And I think that's kind of, they say game recognizes game. Like when I met you, I was very impressed immediately with the fact that you were into fitness, into lifestyle design, and sort of like just the level that you had already gotten to. So how do you think we appeal? Like, for example, you go to BVT.
Yeah.
You said it's a trade school. You're around a lot of kids your age, and a lot of people your age probably aren't thinking this way. How do we get them to at least be exposed to this idea? Because if you didn't at least see it first, you didn't choose to do the rat race.
You gotta realize it's an option.
You have to know it's an option.
They need to want it for themselves, really.
So. But if they don't know that it's an option, then they never got a chance to choose. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I didn't know it was an option until I took my first entrepreneurship course. Yeah. You obviously knew it was an option because your dad was an entrepreneur. Yeah. What do we do for students who don't have that?
Well, I first, it has to be like a mindset thing. I really believe like you have to like live with an open mind, and I feel like the people around you is like I know my dad was an entrepreneur, but the people around you are really gonna like affect you on how you think, and like just like even just like watching people on YouTube and social media, like those are the people I pay attention to. And like my dad, my cousin is an entrepreneur, my uncle is too. So I think like just being around those people that like they do what you want to do when you're older, I think that's like the biggest like driving force for like
so huge
success in like your dreams and goals.
Mm-hmm. Role models are everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, knowing your heroes. Like if I were to ask you right now, and sorry, we'll get to you in a second. This is huge, especially for people your age. Do you have, like if I were to ask you who are your heroes, would you be able to tell me?
I think I have a few. I mean, I think my dad is definitely one of them because he's a huge influence. And then, I mean, he would probably be the number one right there.
Love
my
it.
dad.
I've met him. He seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
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 Any others? Like on social media, for example.
Like Christian Guzman.
He's
like basically the reason why I got started into fitness.
Ooh, I'm sure
Love
he'd be
Yeah.
very happy to hear that.
love it. # natural athletes.
Yes.
Yeah. Steve Cook was definitely another one.
Yes, Steve.
Nick Bear too. I don't know if you guys know who Nick Bear is.
I have heard of him.
I don't know
Yeah.
who that is, but
Look him up. He owns his own supplement company now. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and
Cool.
those are probably like the big three. And Max Tuning.
Oh, I
Like,
know Max
good
Schumann.
friends. Yeah, Christian Guzman's good friend.
and so you follow who they are, what their
Yeah.
lifestyles are like.
Yep.
So that's the thing, right? Like if we don't have heroes, I feel like we're kind of wandering aimlessly, right? Why reinvent the wheel? I think a lot of people don't have strong role models, and even if they do have heroes, they're not necessarily conscious of who those heroes are or why they are. I always say where admiration goes, energy flows. Like if you admire something in someone else, that's your heart telling you this is something I want to be and do, and something that I like and love and that I'm passionate about. So if I were to ask you your heroes, what do we got?
It'd definitely be Conor McGregor.
Ooh, shit!
Kevin's a
I
big,
like that.
big fan as well.
I mean,
From nothing to everything.
If you know his whole story, he's been in Dublin. He won 2 titles over there. He has predicted his wins, predicted his rounds that he wins,
Mystic
predicted
Mac,
the
they call
way of winning. he's predicted that he'd get 2 titles in UFC professionally. He's just amazing to see what he's done. And yeah, people give him hate for losing to Floyd and stuff, but like, just ridiculous in my eyes, because like he went out and I think he did decent against
the greatest boxer ever.
Yeah,
best boxer
of all time.
like literally.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor has the most self-belief out of anybody ever.
Yeah, that's what I envy. Yeah,
he doesn't even. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to go fight the greatest boxer ever? Sure, cool.
Yeah,
give me $100 million.
Yeah,
mine.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to win 2 titles? Sure. I'll knock somebody out in 13 seconds. No worries.
So you and Kevin are very similar in that hero. I know that you talk about. And
Yeah.
both of you like to box and
Right.
like to punch the bag. We were talking about that earlier. Kevin and him punch the bag a little bit in the gym.
Pat broke his arm off.
Unfortunately, your wrist. Yeah, is you'll figure out what that is.
Figure that out before I punch anymore.
So in terms of character qualities, because I always say like know your heroes, but also know why they're your heroes. For you said Conor McGregor. It's the self-belief.
Undeniable self-belief.
Undeniable self-belief,
Like,
which I think is incredible.
Sit him down. Let me sit him down and say, why have you never quit? Why, when you were getting food stamps, why didn't you quit? How did you know you were going to get here?
How did you know?
Unshakable confidence.
Unshakable.
Okay, so see, these are the qualities.
Yes.
Because not only knowing your heroes, but knowing why they're your heroes.
Do you know why I like that? Because I don't have that kind of self-belief.
But you want it.
I want that.
Yeah. And
I'm
you know
envious
how
of it.
And you're
powerful.
working towards it.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, his self-belief is next level.
It is.
Like, he is doing things people have never done.
Yeah.
Yep.
No MMA fighter has ever had a boxing match like that. Ever.
So there's I'm gonna quote here.
Oh, boy.
Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you guys know him. Personal
I
development
follow
speaker.
him on Instagram.
Do you?
Yeah.
Zig is great. He said, it is impossible, and I don't like the word impossible, but in this case you'll understand. It is impossible to act inconsistently with who we believe we are. In other words, if you believe you are something wholeheartedly, and it can't be fake, it has to be real, then you will act inconsistent with that. So I have a article that I wrote. It's called The Power of Self-Labels. And your identity and the power of self-labels. And I talk about in that when I first started lifting, I traded a label of alcoholic in for bodybuilder. So 3 years ago, I was 160 pounds, just skinny fat. You would not have looked up to me in any way at the gym. Mm-hmm. And what I did is I just decided one day, like, I'm going to be this fitness thing. And my self-belief prior to having any results was so strong that I think that powered me through all the hiccups.
That's why I look up to you, man. Like, real talk,
real talk,
real sad talk.
I love it, man.
You know, like, that's why I look up to you. I tell you that all the time. You have undeniable self-belief.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Why do you think I trust you?
I only recently met you, but you're definitely somebody that I would be looking up to in my life too. Like, obviously, I would aspire to be just as good as you, win a competition, you know, just be that healthy and just like get through it all.
Oh, like, thank you, man.
Oh,
so good.
I feel like
for those
I'm
not
getting
watching,
on that
Alan is
journey
crying.
now.
I'm on my way to that,
no.
but yeah, thank you.
I know
thank
you're
you
still
both.
in your journey, but like,
yeah,
you've come a long way.
Thanks, man.
So far,
thank you.
From what I can see.
Interesting. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you lose sight of how far you've come until you reflect, and then you're like, oh wow,
right?
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. I think we're all.
I do that a lot.
Yeah. Reflect.
I just feel like I think, oh, I haven't really gotten that far, and then I think back to like,
and then you're like, whoa, yeah. I think the three facets are, you know, you have eyesight, mindsight, and hindsight. And the way I see it is, you got to have a strong vision for the future of who you are, who you want to be,
mm-hmm.
and like what you want to create. So that's mindsight. Because if you only always go by based on what you see, like for example, when I was 160 pounds, if I only went by my current results rather than my belief of a vision,
like
then
how much your mind has progressed,
yeah,
and not just your body. Like
I always say, get the mind right, the body will follow. Yes. I'm all about training the mind for sure. And then so you've got eyesight, mindsight, and hindsight. Hindsight is reflecting on the past, seeing what reps you put in to get to where you are, what actions, what behaviors, what habits. And then eyesight is like what we're seeing right now, like we are where we all are, like the current, like the mirror right now. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, like, have you guys ever seen that meme on Instagram where it's literally a little kitten who's looking into a puddle
and sees the
and
lion.
she's the tiger?
Yeah.
And it's a little kitten who will be a tiger one day, but you have to believe it in order to achieve it as humans. Yeah.
I want to. So we got Big Nate's. What does he want to accomplish before he dies?
Yeah.
Big Pat.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish with your time here on Earth?
I'm not going to say that I'm 100% sure and decided on.
Nate, I
what
wasn't
I want.
100% sure until I was 28 years old. You got plenty of time, my
what I
friend.
want to accomplish, yeah. But
Better late than never,
Right.
as they say.
right now I have some short-term goals and long-term. So short-term would be to finish my schooling at QCC, get my general healthcare studies degree, and that'll just be like my first degree. And then hopefully, here, let's just do short first. And then this summer, I'm also hoping to get my personal trainer certificate, and I hope to do that by the end of summer, definitely.
Nice.
And then long-term more is going to another university, possibly going into physical therapy. I believe I enjoy a lot of that stuff, and I would like to help people out who get injured while working out, because I've been dealing with that with my wrist hitting the bag too much or too hard.
Yeah, too hard.
I know those feels.
Yeah. That's
But-
awesome. Keep going.
Yeah. I hope physical therapy. That's in my mind right now, but it could change along the way. We'll see. I definitely, short term right now, I want to be a personal trainer and to help people get fit, like get on the healthy track, the healthy lifestyle, just everything like that. And yeah,
What makes you want to help people?
I mean, the fact that I was somewhere I didn't want to be, and I took the choice to just help myself by being consistent and not giving up, basically, and going to the gym every day, keeping my mind on track with like health and nutrition, and just trying to better my mind and my body every day, really.
You guys are impressing me so much.
Right.
I'm so glad you guys are here.
Right.
Like you guys are so outside your comfort zone with this, and I love it.
We were
'Cause this
talking
is where all the
earlier.
growth is.
We were talking
This is,
earlier about I was telling them, like, the older you get, the more you're gonna realize, like, the people around you are gonna start to, like, you're gonna have different people around you.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my older friends, I don't really talk to that much anymore
Yeah.
because, like, their
That's what
alignment.
happens.
Nothing against them. I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
Their mindset goes,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going.
I just have something. It's easy to be around. Like, my roommate is my best friend. He's my brother. He
Matt
wants
Ryan.
to Matt Ryan.
Love you,
just
man.
just bought a new truck. Just got tenants in his apartment. Shout out to that. So he's into real estate investment. That's what I want to do. Alan's into podcasting. That's what I want to do. They're both beasts and into fitness. That's what I want to do.
Yep.
It's like my time is so valuable to me that I really only want to spend it with people who are pushing me up.
Yeah, and I feel I'm getting to that point too, more and more every day. I want to associate more with people that have the same mindset and the track that I'm on, and not disassociate with people, not to not be friends with them ever again, but to more disassociate and go on my own path that I need to be on.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that there used to be a lot more turmoil associated with like the whole idea of spending less time with certain people.
Right.
Isn't that kind of gone now? For you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For
People
me
in
too.
know.
in
I
your
just-
own head you're talking about,
Yeah,
right? Yes.
well, I think
Yeah.
perception becomes reality, right? So, like, how we see something matters. And I remember when I was you guys' age, I would really struggle with the whole idea of, like, oh, I have to get away from these influences.
Like my friend
A
who I
little
drink
bit.
with.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, if you don't want to drink and all your friends, all they do is drink,
Mhm.
I'm not saying to never go in that room.
Don't
I would
live
say
there.
two most important facets of life are, number one, making sure you stay out of the wrong rooms with the wrong people. And number two is, and maybe even more importantly, is getting into the right arenas
Yeah.
in the right rooms
But
with
if
the right
you,
people.
if you don't want to drink and you go into a room with 5 other people drinking who are your friends, like it could be 7 out of the 10 times you do drink, you know, because
Yeah.
they're all around
Right.
you. And
Even if it's 1 out of 10, it's still
breaking what you want.
If it's not in line with
For
your goals.
yourself.
it's not in alignment with your goals. Yeah, stay out of the wrong rooms based on your goals and dreams. Get into the right arenas and the right rooms based on your goals and
Mhm.
dreams.
What kind of growing pains are you going through, Big Nate? Any?
I mean, like, yeah, but like back to what you said, I just want to touch on one thing.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yesterday I listened to a podcast by Lewis Howes,
Yes.
from like his
Shout out, Lewis.
Greatness podcast, and
Yep.
like it kind of like touches back to like cutting people out, sort of, and it's like knowing your self-worth. It's like the podcast I think was called like setting boundaries to like improve your relationships. I forget what it was called exactly, but
Sounds
like
very helpful.
knowing your self-worth and like what like people align with you
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, people probably are like afraid to cut people out because they don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
And that kind of like touches like you have to know your self-worth, like be comfortable, like being alone and like just like going on like your own beaten path. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to Lewis House.
yeah.
Big fan of him. Yeah, he just reached out to me on
I saw
Instagram,
that.
which I'm very excited
I
about.
saw
I hope
that.
to have him on the
That
podcast
would
at
be
some
great.
point. Lewis, if you're watching this, we would love to sit
Yes,
down.
absolutely.
Or come onto your podcast.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like
Or
Nate
fly
was,
out.
Like Nate
Yeah.
was just saying with that, it's like you need to lose connections with some people in order to have growth.
Yeah.
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 I think being alone, and this, I'm big when it comes to relationships and analogies for life through relationships, right? Me and Alan always say, I will struggle to,
We don't like the word cannot.
I would struggle to cultivate a successful relationship if I myself am not whole. How can I expect to bring happiness, to bring comfort, to add to somebody else's life if I don't have my own taken care of?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying by any means I have my life taken care of. There's things going on in my life. I'm trying to grow, but there's other things, I don't have it all figured out.
We're all a work in progress.
For sure.
Yeah.
But so many people are afraid to be alone because they think being with somebody else defines them. When realistically, who you are as a person defines what kind of relationship you're going to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like you guys are at the age now where like, you're going to be going into your early 20s soon and you're going to be having long-term relationships, hopefully, if that's what you want. And that's when you have to figure out, like, you're going to figure out a lot of stuff. Like, I figured out a lot of my shortcomings through relationships.
Yeah.
But I was willing to feel the pain. I was willing to be alone. I was willing to suffer.
So, Kevin, when you say you learned a lot about yourself through those
Yeah.
relationships, don't you think that a lot of that was reactive growth rather than proactive growth? In a sense, and I know for myself personally, relationships, if you're not whole, it will expose that you're not whole.
Right.
In other words, like,
Even more than it would if you were alone.
if you were alone.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do agree that you should try to come into a relationship from a place of wholeness, but I also think that if you're not in the game, meaning you're not actually trying to sustain a growth in a relationship, then I think that you won't find some of the report cards that are necessary for that growth. In other words,
Right.
when you're trying to make a relationship great and you're shooting for that, you're going to fail a lot.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
failure is going to be a report card that's going to say, oh, wow, I really got to work on this communication thing or,
But
or
that's
this
the thing. I think-
intimacy thing or whatever.
I think
it
what
is.
I'm trying to say is you have to take that report card and you have to read it.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, I'm not saying stay single forever.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a diamond, if you're not completely polished, you know everything, don't
There's no
go date.
such thing.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
What I'm saying is go out there. If shit falls apart, figure out why.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't just, she was crazy.
Yeah, no,
Come on, man.
yeah.
You're
That's
telling me
so-
it had nothing
yeah.
to do with it?
No matter how thin you slice it, there's always two sides.
Right.
That's something that I live by, and I think that in a relationship, it's critical to like be able to put yourself in the mirror and say, "What did I do to contribute to this?" Even
Right.
if she was crazy, it's like
Easy.
yeah. It's like what did I contribute to that situation?
Right.
And what can I fix? Because you take you with you, so you got to work on you.
Yeah, that's
Because otherwise you'll just like bring that next issue to the next relationship and nothing
Which is
changed.
exactly what you don't want. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are your, so I want to know what you guys' fitness goals are. Because today we were getting after it. Like, we didn't really, so for people who know me, I'm not a big talker at the gym. I just kind of go, put my headphones on, and just get after it.
Yeah.
So we didn't really talk
I
about
do
that.
the same thing usually.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see, like, what, you guys are young. Like, do you have a dream physique? Alan is huge on this. Alan is huge on, like,
I want to be as big as possible, but also as lean as possible.
interesting.
All right.
Oh, the
Welcome
ultimate.
to the grind,
Yeah, right?
my friend. All right, all right.
Okay.
All right.
Nate?
Nate.
I mean, I just want to build I guess I want to be same thing as
Yeah.
like everyone.
Doesn't everybody?
I think
Doesn't
everyone
everyone?
wants to be shredded and like just
Huge.
have mat like size on them.
Yeah.
But like, I really want to get. I want to get strong. So I guess
Definitely.
there's like a power building has been like.
Right.
Have you heard of?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously heard of that. But like, that's one of the things. Like, look aesthetic, but also be like strong as hell.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm one of
Exactly,
those
yeah.
people that I don't have an issue like gaining weight. Like, it's not hard for me to gain any weight.
Okay.
So like, I know some people like, I know Pat, you said you have that problem, but like I can gain weight like that, like,
Yeah,
in a snap of a finger. Especially during like the school year, sitting in a chair like for most of the day.
Yeah.
I will get a little fluffy, but
Fluffy.
well, like,
He's
I think
he's
right now
using
out of
words.
high school.
right now I'm
so-
like, I'm the heaviest I've ever been. But I think at like this time like last year I was like around the same weight, and I definitely look a lot better now. 'Cause I did like a little mini cut, lost like 10 pounds.
Okay.
So
It's a little more than a mini cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good amount of weight.
Sounds like
I know, yeah.
most I've ever done.
But yeah. So I just want to be strong, but I also want to look good and like.
So, a question that I think will help tremendously. Questions change lives, as they say. What is more important to you? Because I think prioritization is critical in anything in life, like clarity. Like, why? Like, for me, it's aesthetics. I'll be completely honest. Like, I want to be strong for sure.
Yeah.
I want to be big for sure. I want to be lean for sure. I care about what I look like because I know that is what men's physique, my goals, it's consistent with my dreams. If I want to be the top natural aesthetic men's physique model on the planet, I got to care about what I look like aesthetically.
Yep.
So for me, it's aesthetics. And I prioritize, and that changes what you do, what you eat, what you think about. So for you, it's like you want to be strong, capable. Like, obviously, we want to have it all.
Yeah.
But what's most important? What's the bottom foundation of the pyramid?
Looking good is definitely like.
Okay, aesthetics.
Yeah, that takes like precedence over being like strong as hell in the gym.
And I think being clear on that with yourself is critical. Because I'll ask people all the time. I was talking to a buddy, I won't name names, but I asked him, I'm like, so what are your goals, man? And he's just like, oh, like to be healthy. And I'm like, well, he's like a super athlete. He's really good at basketball, football, hockey, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, what does healthy mean? I'm like, well, why? He's like, well, honestly, like I just want to stay injury free. I'm like, well, if that's the case, then why are you even in the gym?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if that's
couch.
your only goal. What I was trying to get him to see is like, if you ask someone who's in ridiculously good shape, like if you went to Guzman or Steve Cook or any of your heroes and you said, what are your current fitness goals, they're going to be super clear on an exact goal weight and an exact cut, an exact approach, or an exact program. Like, they're going to be, whenever you see someone who's in great shape, they typically have like really concrete, clear, concise goals, and they know their priorities. Like for Steve Cook, Guzman, like I can almost guarantee you it's aesthetics, obviously, natural aesthetics, and it's like that's probably why that's yours too, and why you resonate with that more. Whereas them two, Pat and Kevin, they're more focused on like performance in like with Conor McGregor, for example. Like they want to be good fighters.
I would like to knock somebody's head off. But I do want to.
But you
good.
want endurance, right? So if Nate and I don't want to ever be fighting in an arena, we probably won't care quite as much, or at least focus a little bit less on hitting the bag.
Right.
Yeah.
So you only have so much time. Right? You want to be effective based on your goals. So for you, it's aesthetics. What is it for you? Is it more performance oriented?
By aesthetics, do you mean like just being shredded as possible?
That's so good. We're not laughing at you. I love that.
No,
That's
yeah,
good.
sure.
Yeah. So yes.
Yes.
I think overall aesthetics in natural fitness, it's a constant progression of like building muscle and burning fat, building muscle and burning fat. So let's say you start at 180 and you go from 180 to 185. You're going to gain fat while gaining muscle. Then you cut down to 182, trying to maintain the muscle mass. Maybe 1.5 pounds of that is, and these are just random numbers, is muscle. So your overall muscle mass increases while your overall fat mass decreases over the long term in these bulks and cuts.
You're trying to get rid of more fat than you are muscle.
So that's the whole idea, but it's not momentary, right? Like a show, I always say it's like an orchid that blooms and dies on the same day, right? Because you literally go from like, oh my God, I'm, leaner than I've ever been, absolutely shredded, to like, okay, I got to get back on a reverse diet so that I can build some muscle again, so that my next best next year is, actually better than this. My goal is to make what I did last year look like child's play every year. And in order to do that, you got to get fluffy on the off season. And especially if you're natural.
Yeah.
Right. So
see, the problem with me, I think, is I don't like to get fluffy.
Yes, you and I are the same
I like
people.
my abs.
You and everyone else.
I don't want to have any fat because I feel like I've worked so hard to get rid of all the fat.
So, Alan, this is the
So
part
I'm having
where
trouble. Yeah.
Alan, no, you're all right. Alan and I
I know.
Alan and I would disagree on this because I'm probably the heaviest I'm going to get this winter right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple more pounds. But I don't need it. I don't need the extra weight. When I did my bodybuilding, when I did my show, I did an off season after that, and I got up to 188 pounds, and I couldn't even tie my own shoes. I'm not doing that again. I just don't care. So I'll sit around 170, 175, and still be peeled all year. Just let me do my thing.
all right.
So if you want to do that,
and you can still build muscle, build strength.
you can definitely build strength.
All right, here we go.
But it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to build strength while staying lean. I guess it's the best of both worlds. Like everyone says they want that.
Right,
you know?
Best of both worlds.
Alan, go ahead. Let's hear what you have.
So, it's the title of my book.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh, okay.
so this all comes down to prioritization.
Right.
Right? So Kevin's priorities are different than mine. In other words, he wants to be shredded year-round. I'm willing to sacrifice
Right.
being shredded
For the greater good.
year-round for the greater end result because I'm competing in the show. He's not.
for your competition.
Yeah,
to
he's
be
not
ready at
competing in
that
those.
moment.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's everything we do needs to be calculated based on an end game goal, because otherwise you're just kind of wandering aimlessly. And I think that progress makes you happy when it's something you really care about, and it's not. They always say it's the journey, not the destination, and I agree. But the thing is that without the actual end game goal, there is no specific journey. I always say set a goal, not to get the goal, but for what it will make of you to achieve the goal. And also the people you're going to meet. If I didn't want to be a natural fitness model, like, would I have met Nate Smithson, my coach, who you guys know?
Yeah.
Would I have sat down with Kevin? Would Kevin have noticed me? Like, your goals and dreams are going to dictate everything you do, everyone you meet, the rooms you're in, the rooms you stay out of.
And say, if me and Nate that day were not inside Anytime Fitness working on our goals for fitness,
Yep.
we would not have talked to you.
That's
Exactly.
it.
At all.
And you might not
Yeah.
say you didn't even have a good workout that day. Say you just limped into the gym, you had a shitty workout. That was that day. You didn't have a great workout. But what came from that? We always say put in the reps. They might not be the best reps. Like,
Yeah, but
I
you
continue,
showed up.
I continue screwing up the camera angle on the podcast. You still put in the reps.
Hopefully not this time.
Yeah, sorry.
We're sorry.
Yeah, it's really like consistency, like we've
Right.
said. Like, even if you're failing, look for the little successes
Right.
and take off of it.
You might reach in a bag to grab something and grab something else. It might not be what you wanted, but doesn't mean it's not useful. You could use it somewhere else. It's going to get
Maybe
you
you'll
somewhere.
get the thing you wanted next time.
Right,
you
exactly.
reach in the bag.
Exactly. You just got to keep grabbing for stuff.
So I heard an incredible analogy that I think you'll like, Kevin.
I
and
love
know
analogies.
You guys will resonate with this as well.
Yeah.
If you picture going into a dark room with a flashlight, you can't see anything except for what the flashlight focuses on. That's the power of focus. So you're going to find whatever you're looking for. And what you're looking for is based on having an end game goal. I'll give you an example. Let's say you buy a car. Have you ever had this happen? Or you buy an outfit, and all of a sudden you notice everyone else has that outfit. For example, I saw you with an Alphalete shirt on when we first met.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Why? Because Christian Guzman is a natural fitness model. I also am. I hone in on that. Our brain, our subconscious brain is far more powerful than our conscious brain. I'm going to get a little scientific here. So picture a 4K TV. 1 pixel of that 4K TV is the power of the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the other 3,999 pixels. So you're going to pick out the pixels, the specific things you find. Like, for example, if you buy an outfit, you're going to see it everywhere. It was always everywhere.
Right.
You just didn't notice because it wasn't significant to you. When you have a goal, a specific goal, like for you it's
Certain.
aesthetics, it's going to change everything you notice. And what you notice is what you're going to focus on, and what you focus on is what's going to improve. So it's critical to have certain goals. Like, if I didn't have a fitness goal, I would just not have met Nate Smithson. I would not have gotten into that room with Kevin. It's going to change everything. So I think when people are like, oh, I don't really care about goals because it's the journey. It's like, yeah, but the goal is what makes the journey valuable.
Or else it's not even a journey. What are you going on?
What are
a
you
journey
shooting for? Yeah.
Yeah,
What
if
do
you don't put
shoot-
your GPS on, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't mean to
Sit there in your
interrupt,
car
can I-
looking at it like that.
yeah.
Where are we going?
Can I run to the bathroom?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
So I think running around Kevin might be easier.
Too much water.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
No, that's good.
All right, everyone will take a 2-minute break. No. But so for you, it is aesthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So, but you also know that strength is correlated to aesthetics.
I do, yeah.
Right? Muscle mass is correlated. So it's knowing what the pyramid is, what's the most important thing, and then figuring out what you need to improve on: mobility, pliability, strength, size, body fat. It's all based on what you consider a strong physique. And to go back to his original question, like, do you have a dream physique? Because like we just talked about, without a certain specific clear goal, we're wandering around aimlessly. Do you have a physique that you aspire to?
I do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you mind saying it?
like a certain person's physique that I
Yeah.
would like.
So
to have?
for me, it's Greg Plitt. You know who Greg Plitt is?
I do not.
Ah,
So it's on
before
the
your-
background.
bef-
It's
She broke my foot before your day.
so it's on what?
That was before his day.
Oh, that's right. Greg
probably.
Plitt. So, I have a poster of him above my bed. I've got quotes of him all over my room. I've got a plaque thing. He's a huge hero of mine. I'm wearing a wristband of Greg Plitt. And so on the background of my phone, there's a picture of my dream physique. I said in 2 years, I'm going to look like this. And I'm almost there.
Yep.
I'm almost at the 2-year thing. And I'm actually like right there. I think this show is going to
Yeah.
be a 2-year mark.
Yeah,
and
we're
I
gonna
think
see.
I want to literally take a picture of me with that exact same pose
Right.
and go. And back then, when I said it, I didn't look anything like this, and people thought I was nuts.
Right.
They thought I was
Yeah.
crazy, and they were like, "Oh, Greg puts on steroids, all this stuff." I'm like, "No, he's not. He's natural." They're like, "I don't think you can do that naturally." I'm like, "I will prove it. Let me show you. You
Right.
don't have to believe me. I see it, and I know I can do it." So, anyways, what dream physique are you shooting for, and do you have a specific picture that you can look at every day to really reinforce that?
Yeah. So there's one guy that I follow. His name's Chris Elkins on.
Oh, yo!
Yeah. So I really like
actually
how his
talked to
physique.
him.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Chris Elkins, natural. No, I didn't show you him. He's a natural, lifetime natural.
Okay.
I'll let you tell him.
Yeah. So he does like.
What am I doing?
I think he's been lifting for like 5 years. He said like consistently. He's like my height. So like I feel like that's why like I might like, I guess like gravitate to him more.
Because
And,
it's believable.
yeah.
It's yeah.
And then I just like his physique. Like I like how he looks and like the body type that he has. So I guess I shoot for that.
Good.
I
And
feel like that's an achievable goal for me.
Good.
Yeah.
So it has to be something you believe is possible. Because if you don't believe it's possible, you're not even going to try.
Yeah.
Right? I always use my first fitness show as an example. Like, I believed I'd win. Like, I was a little bit arrogant about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if arrogant's the right word.
No, yeah, it
I
is.
would say
No, for
naive.
sure it is.
No, so I thought we'll get into this quick. I thought that a novice show meant it was everyone's first time, and I watched one YouTube video, right? Terrible research. I was like, oh, I can beat those guys. So yeah, okay, you're right. Arrogant is the right word. But here's the thing: if I didn't believe I could win, would I have tried? That's the thing. I think a lot of people don't believe they could,
Or
and
even
therefore
tried
they
as
never.
hard.
They say optimists. They've done scientific studies where optimists are actually less accurate about the results, but they succeed over the long term because they keep trying and failing. I am just so like Conor McGregor believes in himself so much that he would try anyway. Like who else? He believed he could beat Mayweather.
For sure.
No one else would have believed that.
Right.
But he wouldn't even have tried if he didn't at least think it was possible.
Right.
So you have to like be if you think you're already there, you're not going to move forward. But if you think you'll never get there, you're not going to move forward either. And so for you, I think it's great that you picked a physique that you believe is possible for you based on your own values, like naturally.
And failure with the right mindset is only going to be more learning than anything.
More
you know,
learning than
like,
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. It's part of putting, like, you're putting in the reps.
Failure with the right mindset.
So where did you learn that? Like honestly, like where did you hear that? Like I know that's a thing going around. I feel like social media is really
I don't know.
it's got some bad aspects, but I'm seeing the good aspects here too. Because when we were your age, like the internet would dial up.
Tits. Boobs.
When did
Just boobs.
Okay. Okay, I don't know what Kevin's talking about. Everyone relax. So when we were 20, that was what? So that's almost 9 years ago now. So we're looking at 2008.
Sure.
Okay. So we did have internet, of course. Okay, so we had Wi-Fi and all that.
It
But social
expanded
media,
so
like there
much
wasn't a
more.
lot of role models, I feel like.
There was no social media like there is today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to get into this.
Yeah.
This is actually very good. When we were growing up, if you would say, let's just say like Arnold Schwarzenegger was your mentor, who's your dream physique, whatever.
Yeah.
The only time you ever saw him was in movies.
Yeah.
Now you see the people doing the work.
I know.
I think
It's a
that's
different
huge.
world.
Because
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, I just have to do that?
Yeah.
I have to do what he's doing every day?
It pulls back the curtain.
Right.
And it makes you realize like, oh, he isn't just a genetic gift to God.
Transparency.
It's the transparency.
Transparency. I had somebody say that to me the other day.
He's doing the
Interesting.
work like I could be doing, basically.
Because if Arnold Schwarzenegger was on social media, it would have shown him in the gym 6 hours every day.
Right.
Double sessions, 3 hours each time. Which, granted, when you're on that
Easy.
many drugs, you can
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah.
He's like, I just recommend you sleep faster.
Yes.
It's like Arnold, come on.
Yeah, come on.
But anyways, not I take nothing from him, and he does own it, so good
Right.
for him. But I really do want to get back to the dream physique thing. So you have a dream physique. It's what's his name?
Chris Elkins.
Chris Elkins. So everyone listening,
I'm gonna
if you-
tag him.
if
I'm gonna
you-
tag Chris Elkins when I put this on Facebook
I love it
because he
You
will
should.
reach out for sure.
Oh, that would be a beautiful
He's a-
thing.
like-
Where did you meet him?
I didn't meet him.
Oh, okay. You talked to him?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I was doing, I don't remember what happened. After my show, I was trying to figure out macros because I was like, I am not doing chicken and rice and broccoli anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
It's not for me.
I reached out to him on Instagram because he is peeled and
Yeah.
he does macros. Like he's ridiculously good at doing macro diets.
Okay. Word.
And he's strong as shit too for
Yeah.
somebody. He's like 160 pounds, 165
he's
pounds.
like, yeah.
wow.
He,
Yeah,
he
he's-
doesn't weigh like a ton.
No.
But he's aesthetic as it gets.
yeah.
Super aesthetic.
And he
I
has,
gotta
he has
know- I
good
wish I had
size
my
on
phone.
him too. Like
Yeah.
he does for someone that he doesn't weigh like he never gets up to like 180 like
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, he gets after it, and he works
Yeah.
hard. He posts his workout. He's a nice dude. Reached out to me, talked to me all about macros, helped me out.
Love
Huge
it.
shout out to him. Great guy,
That's
nice
awesome.
guy.
For free. Just
He just hit me. Yeah, he just talked to me through DM.
Good for him. I like him already. Can
Yeah.
we pull him up real quick on this by any chance? Yeah. Thank you, man.
Like next
Chris
time
what?
when I do a prep.
I follow him. So
Oh,
I
okay,
can-
cool. Our phones are always on the
Yeah.
I mean,
recording.
I'm
So
gonna end up
I like that
following
we
him,
can
so-
do this
If
now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my tablet next time, so we'll be able to do this every time.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But no, I don't know what I was saying.
Wait, you. So I asked you a question of when
What's
you
his
met
name?
him. Or
And
when you talked
and
to
I was
him.
like, I didn't.
Okay, Chris Elkins.
Yeah, he's
we're shouting him out big time.
Right. He's
Chris.
he just seems like a really nice person.
Good.
And then it's great that like, see, I'm kind of like you where when I was Pat, do you know Sean Shirk? You know who Sean Shirk is?
He's
I
160
think I've heard
pounds.
of him.
He's a fighter.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like 5'5". I always liked him because he's short like me, and I was like, oh shit, if he can do it, I can do it.
That's kind of yeah. I see McGregor as more of a taller, longer limb fighter. That's kind of like how I see
Right.
myself.
It's interesting how you
Long legs.
what
kicks,
you
and-
what you want. You find a prototype that has that, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's what I need to be. That's what I want to be.
That's what I always
Uh-huh.
tell people. What resonates with us is our heart telling us we can do it too.
Yeah.
You know, or we can be it too. Like what resonated with you was my self belief.
Right.
You knew you had that in you. I always say when you get around the right people and you expose yourself to the right people, they will spark something within you that you didn't even know you had. Right? Like I always said, like when I first met Nate Smithson, my fitness coach, like you don't realize how badly you want to be in shape until you're around him and you're like, I gotta go to the gym.
Right.
I can't wait to go to the gym. Right? And by the way, he's coming with you because he's addicted to the gym too.
Right.
In
Yeah,
a good way.
After we
in a good way.
left the gym, I was thinking I could go to the gym again today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
love it.
don't say that too loud. You'll be going with Alan later.
Yeah, right.
Let's do it.
So his physique is phenomenal. I'm shocked that he's only 160 pounds.
I think
He's killing it.
he's
I think
160.
160 might be
Yeah.
a little low.
I don't know. Well, maybe he can.
How tall
He
is
looks
he?
big.
5'6".
Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
160.
Yeah, so-
Kev, I don't know, man. He's got some muscle mass.
Oh,
on him.
man.
Yeah.
He's got some big.
Yeah, but
If
he
you
ca-
weigh 175, if you
I don't
cut
weigh.
down
I don't weigh
160,
175.
You look like that.
I don't weigh 175. I
What
said
do you
I
weigh?
might get up to 175.
Oh, okay. What do you weigh?
168.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I weigh right now.
Okay, that's
Doable.
if you got down to 160, you'd be shredded like that.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I will.
I'm like
Which you
I
will.
think
In the
I'm
summer.
like 160.
You're
I'm not sure.
160.
Yeah,
What about you?
Used to be more.
I weighed myself at the gym today, 167.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about what the scale actually means.
Oh,
You know
Sure.
what I mean? And like how to objectively use it as a measurement rather than like a this is like who I am and like this is a bad
yeah. So
thing.
many people say like, oh, I don't suggest you jump on the scale every day. That's because you assume if you eat a lot, you just gain 10 pounds, and that's
yeah,
not
which
true.
is not true at
Not
all. Yeah.
I just look and see like I feel like when I have food in my stomach, I'm like a pound or two more, and then like when I don't, I'm
Yeah.
just like go
Post
down
poop.
a bit. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
legit. So I'm never sure. I'm just like, so how much do I actually weigh?
So something happened to me recently where I coach self-made millionaire. I have a client. He's a self-made
Yeah.
millionaire. I won't name his name because he doesn't. He likes his privacy. Although he did say that I can start quoting him if I want,
Interesting.
which is cool. Yeah, I think he's coming around on the whole thing, which is great. But anyways, he recently said, honestly, Alan, I'm not gonna like. I was like, what are your weigh-ins? Right? I want to know where you're at. If you're making progress, because we're trying to get him to 185. He wants to be able to do 5 pull-ups. He has very specific goals. So he's a CEO of a very large company, and I noticed that people like that tend to have very clear goals. So it's very exciting to work with these kinds of people. And he mentors me on my business, so it's a win-win. But the point I'm trying to make is he was like, Alan, during the holidays, I don't want to like weigh in. I just want to not look at the scale. And I'm like, but the scale, like that, to me, I try to weigh myself every single day. And I try to take a progress picture every single day. The reason is because if I'm on track, I'm going to be happy about it. And if I'm off track, I'm going to be pissed off about it and
more
then get back on
motivated
track
too,
and more
yeah.
motivated.
Right.
Like, the way I see it is if you're focused on trying to create wealth for yourself and you're not ever looking at your bank account, that's like not looking on the scale.
It's almost like you know
'Cause if
you're
it's
fucking
not-
up.
Yeah, but
You're
that's
just
you're trying to
afraid for
avoid the
that,
truth.
like,
Right. You don't want to see the
reassurance
number.
to-
Yeah.
And if it's not going the right way, you need to check it in order to adjust it
Yeah.
to be going the right
Because
way.
what if it is going the right way? I've been pleasantly surprised. I've also been very pleasantly unsurprised and unhappy. Like, you guys have probably had this instance where I remember when I was really out of shape, I would, I gained, so just so you guys know a little bit about my fitness journey.
Here we go.
I went from 160
McDonald's.
to 220 in 6 months. So I gained 60 pounds in 6 months. And Nate had to tell me that most of that was fat, Alan. And that was I would say humble pie tastes like crap, but it's really good for you. So I had to eat some humble pie there. But when I was 220, I remember there was this one photo in particular that I used as a transformation photo on Instagram where I was like, whoa. I was like a little too close to the camera. Right? We have those moments where it's like, oh, man. Like, I've been hiding from the truth for too long, and the truth is right there. And I think that those are the moments, I call them quantum moments, where you realize the truth and you go, okay, what do I do now?
Our good friend Andrew Copeland had, he avoided buying another size jeans
Because then he would have to admit to himself.
because you'd have to admit that, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody, a lot of people do this. And again, being hyper conscious enough or being conscious enough to say, like, oh, that's why I'm doing
I know
this.
that I'm gaining fat right,
Right.
now.
Like, what am I
and I know what
avoiding?
I need to do.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
instead of
And then you just got to
I'm
do
gaining
it.
fat, I don't even want to know this. I'm gonna go
And I told my client,
not pay attention to it or something.
yeah, you don't want to. You got to look in the proverbial mirror. You got to, whatever it is that you got to just know the truth, because Tony Robbins has 3 steps, he says, and he's a huge hero of mine, one of the greatest public speakers to ever live. Go figure, one of my heroes, right? So align your heroes with who you want to become. He says 3 steps to any transformation. Number 1, see it as it is, but not worse than it is. Number 2, see it better than it is, vision.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3, make it the way you see it.
Mm.
And that last one is the hard part, where you have to get around the right people who already have the result and figure out what they did, dissect it. I always say there's always more than meets the eye, right? And like, if someone's in a relationship and they're super happy and passionate and in love, they're doing something differently. They're thinking differently. If they're in great shape, they're doing something differently. They're thinking differently. Find out what those things are, and that's going to make all the difference.
If you have major league goals, you have to have major league effort. And you're probably going to have major league problems. I tell people that all the time.
Major league disappointments.
Well,
I would
so
say, sometimes.
Somebody
Yeah.
I was talking to was like, oh, I hate how my girlfriend gets so much love on Instagram. Your girlfriend's beautiful.
Yeah.
She puts a picture up, she's going to get it.
Yeah.
You want her hot
And that's a
girlfriend?
compliment, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, you want her hot girlfriend, she's got an Instagram, that's probably going to happen. You want her to play in the big leagues, this is your problem, don't
Yeah.
complain about it.
And that's not a problem. I think that's
Right.
Well, it depends how you look at it, right?
From if it's a place of insecurity, it's a problem.
Yeah, like Tim
For
Grover,
sure.
Michael Jordan's trainer for 15 years. He wrote a book called Relentless. Highly recommend it, by the way. You guys would both love this book.
Mm-hmm.
And he says the only difference between criticism and feedback is how you take it.
Right.
And I think that feedback is the scale.
It is. How do you?
It's really
that's
all
the
about
only
how
way to
you
measure.
take things
Yeah.
yourself.
What do you do with that information? Like, do you just get upset about it and do nothing and get overwhelmed, or do you say,
I feel that used to be a big problem with me. I
yeah,
get, like you just said, what'd you just say? Overwhelmed? or
you
something?
get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
And
just
then
do
it's
nothing.
more of just upset and don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I want to ask some deep shit
Let's do it.
because that's what I do.
I can tell that, Nate, you're the 2 hours of sleep. You're running low. You're running
I'm
low.
just, like, thinking, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I love it.
So we're gonna start with Nate on
All
this.
right, I'm
Okay.
hungry.
Was there like a singular event or like a singular circumstance that shaped you into like who you are? Because you seem to like have a very respected view of your father,
Mhm.
and you kind of want to like follow in his footsteps.
Yeah.
Do you think he shaped you into you, or did you have like certain experiences?
I think he did, and just like growing up in the environment that I did. I have a great family, so I think that definitely contributed to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Do you see yourself having like a similar family?
I hope so. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would be super happy with that.
That's
That's
a
what
beautiful-
you're shooting
yeah.
for.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, that is a
It's
beautiful.
a beautiful thing.
So, for some people, how do we get that same mindset for someone who maybe doesn't have those kinds of role models? Like, that's the $1 trillion question.
Right.
Like,
What about you, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad, like, my mom is on trying to be like healthier and is on a healthy lifestyle and goes to spin classes and, you know, is active. So like I can relate to, and I more want to do it for myself. And my dad, on the other hand, he's not like as much like your father. Not to be down on my father, but he's more not healthy, and he smokes cigars, drinks. So it just I guess that I don't want to be somebody who's unhealthy like that. So that's more motivation to me.
We're very similar, you and I. We're very similar. Yeah.
And I love my father very much. He's a really great dad. I just want to say that too, because
of course that's important.
I don't want to feel like I'm dissing on my dad.
No, of course not. I think that's clear, by the way, in your voice.
I think that I have problems with the way that he lives, and I don't know. I try to tell him to change and do things differently, more healthy, for a healthier mind for him. But he just is in a mindset where he doesn't really listen to me. So it's a little hard.
That's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
for sure.
People that we love, that we see have these habits that maybe aren't the best for them. You know, and people always say you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. Yep. But I say, what if you show the horse how great water is? By jumping in and doing it. So lead by example. I think that's the hardest thing.
Which you
growing up to realize. Yeah, you totally
for sure.
are.
I feel that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
People will never do what you say; they'll do what you do. Trust me. I say a lot, but until you're doing it, no one's gonna listen, and nor should they. By the way,
until you have the results too, like you said.
Yeah, the track record, some sort of proof that you are practicing what you preach. You know, and I think that, and I think it's mostly subconscious, right? And here's another thing that's a hot button topic. So you guys, you're in high school, you are in college. I think that I always say, like, why didn't we learn? My slogan is what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. That's the Alan Lazarus LLC motto. Desperately need to know. Yeah. And I always think, like, you know, we use money every day of our life. We eat food every day of our life. Like, why didn't we learn anything about money and food? Yeah. Right? Like nutrition, nothing.
There's so much stuff you need to learn that you can find from other sources.
Yeah.
That you need to
self-education, I think. Yeah, you got it. But we aren't really taught the value of that. We don't even know what we don't know until we know it, and then we're like, oh, whoa.
Why did we know that? You have to find it out for yourself nowadays, because the systems we have, they don't.
But how do you know that you have to find it out for yourself?
You realize this isn't for me. I'm not the norm, and I want to be myself.
That identity.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think that seeing someone do that in the flesh, like your father or whoever, seeing someone carve their own path and then succeed doing it and seeing the benefits of that, I think is huge.
Well, even like today, like when you guys are like, oh, check my form, make sure my form's good. Yeah. I'm not a personal trainer.
Yeah.
But you know what I know, that you or assume I know what I'm doing.
I don't. Yeah, no, you definitely
But you know what I mean? You trust enough where like, oh, okay, he's in the gym doing it, and he must know how to do it.
For sure.
So that's doing proves to you that I know what I'm doing, you know?
And so I always think back, like, in school, why didn't we learn any of this stuff? And I think some of it we did. And I always say this, if Tom Brady taught geometry in New England, we'd all know the Pythagorean theorem.
Right.
Because on a subconscious level, kids are smarter than we think. Right? If you're a teacher, and I'm not hating on teachers, I love teachers. I consider myself a teacher. Education is everything. And I applaud what they do in every way. But I do think that some teachers do not possess the results that children want. And therefore, they don't
look up
listen.
to their teachers.
Yes. And if you don't look up to your teacher...
You don't think your teacher's a good person.
Or if they don't have the life that you want, you're not going to listen quite as much. Because I always say where admiration goes, energy flows. If you don't admire your teacher, because maybe it's a teacher who, you know... Because if, let's say a child wants to be wealthy, wants to be fit, wants to have a happy family, and your teacher happens to have had some difficulties, they're not fit, right? They drink a lot of Diet Coke. I remember I have one teacher in particular, I won't name any names, but basically he was just really unhealthy, divorced, broke, honestly a miserable human being. And I'm not trying to be uncompassionate, but I do know that on a subconscious level, I didn't really learn from him. And I know why now. It's because I knew, you know, he didn't have the results I wanted. Why would I listen to somebody who has something has no results, right? So if they're not leading by example, it affects the way we learn. And that's why I think it's so critical now with the social media revolution that, like, you look up to and learn from all these people. I honestly don't think you would have learned from them if they didn't first live
Yeah.
it and breathe it and represent it.
If your personal trainer needs a personal trainer, then you're not gonna like. What results are you gonna expect?
Yeah, Greg Plitt's quote. He's like, half these trainers need a fucking trainer. I'm like, honestly, that's true though, right? Like, why would you go to someone out of shape to learn how to get in shape?
If I was looking for a trainer, I would go to you before I went to somebody who didn't. You know what I mean? I'd rather go to somebody who's getting after it too.
yeah,
He was probably
exactly.
in a negative mindset where Alan is in a positive mindset completely. So it's like two different sides. Of
It could be. It very well could be.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Alan loves compliments.
I
You know what I mean? We wonder why his ego's so big. We're all talking about him. Actually, I might just shut his mic off. Let him sit there in silence.
I appreciate a genuine compliment.
See what you've done.
I think that it's funny. You lose sight sometimes of how far you've come, and then when people do compliment you, it's nice. It is nice. Yeah.
It's so strange sitting down with two young gentlemen because when I was their age, this would not be happening.
Yeah, we.
You know, like it's.
I'm so impressed by both.
Yeah,
of you.
it's
How
awesome.
scared would we have been to?
It's
even
refreshing.
Do this?
I would not do this.
Yeah,
I would come up with every excuse not to.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't have gone to the gym either.
Oh yeah.
So that's huge, and I think that you guys both have really good heads on your shoulders, and you guys are in the beginning of your journeys. So the more motivated you get, the more knowledge you get, the more experience you get. Like the sky's the limit for both of you.
Knowledge is power.
No. Potential. Knowledge is potential.
Yeah.
You got to put it to use.
Knowing what to do and doing what
Right,
you know.
right.
Different things. But that was good.
It was good.
See, I love that. Conversations change lives.
They do.
As they say.
When you're hyperconscious.
So, Kevin, let's talk real quick. Let's add some value to their lives.
Sure.
What are some of the mistakes?
Oh.
Like, if we could go back and be 20. We're just going to assume you're 20 in this instance. I know you're 18, but...
Right. Give you a couple of years.
What are the biggest mistakes? That you've
honestly,
made?
so...
And let's premise it real quick.
myself.
Sorry. I'm sorry. No, I need to premise it. What I always say, if you're happy, if you find a way to be happy where you are, you'll not only be okay with where you've been, you'll be thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're both very happy with who we've become.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want people to think like, oh, we have horrible regrets and everything went astray. No. But if we could go back in time and talk to our 20-year-old self, there are definitely a few things that I might mention.
For sure.
Right? And so I'm going to name 3. What are 3, if you can think of 3, of the biggest mistakes that you've made?
Definitely not putting in the effort to having like a clear vision of what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew I didn't want to go to college. I just knew college wasn't for me. And people that go, good for you, get after it. I applaud you for doing it because it's just not what I wanted. But I just knew I didn't want to go. I knew I didn't want to go to school to do something I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I figured, why put myself $80,000 in debt if I don't even know if I want to do it?
Which I think is...
Right.
That's
a lot of
something
people
like
do.
that's something huge that my parents like preach and everything is that like you don't need to be successful. Like it doesn't mean if you don't go to college doesn't mean you can't be successful and everything like that.
Oh, right. So true.
And it also depends on what do you define as success. I made the most money I've ever made last year.
Yeah.
And I was grinding every week. And then I changed my purpose and said, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Money does not fix problems.
No. It just,
Money is not
in some
like
cases
happiness.
it amplifies them.
Yeah.
You need to do what you love, have
Right.
passion for
Right.
something.
So I think that's another thing. Realizing
Money
like
will come along the way.
right. Realizing that the things around me weren't going to make my life better. Like I had to figure shit out within myself.
So you think lacking vision?
For sure. Lacking
Was
vision
number
was
one?
Yeah,
huge. I think it's 1, 2, and 3 for me.
like you
Oh,
said, like
geez.
you knew,
Yeah.
you didn't want to go to college. I knew I had to go to college when I was in high school, but I didn't have a clear vision at all. But I knew I had to and wanted to. But maybe I shouldn't have without a clear vision, but it's taught me because I went to the Westfield 1 year, and that's very expensive too, the college. But then I realized this isn't for me as much, and then I went back to a community college, and now I'm in the healthcare. And on the way, I've kind of learned what I want. So, like, as I've gone through it,
That's going to keep happening.
For
You're
sure.
going to keep evolving. I always say,
Yeah.
as you grow, so will your dreams, so will your vision, so will your targets.
How did that help you? Like knowing that it's okay not to go? Because I feel like a lot of people feel pressure.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I think
So for him, you guys are very opposite when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I knew I had to go. He said, basically, I knew I didn't have to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so true. Yeah.
So how did that change the way that you, I guess, formulated your vision?
I think it just like opened my mind to like new like ideas because I feel like if I said I I'll take my friends for an example. A lot of them, they don't go to like BVT, but they go to Nipmuc right across the street.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just like so set on like
college.
You're
also from a trade school, so the atmosphere is
so
more.
I feel like I've
different.
like experienced different things, like in like having a great support system. Like my parents, like they both realize, like my dad even like says now, like he regrets like spending a ton of money on college because like he understands now that like he could still be in the same position that he was now hadn't
Right.
he, like
if not better.
Yeah, but some people's parents are saying you have to go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to go to
there's
college.
like a stigma around it
For
that,
sure.
like
Yeah.
you're gonna be a loser.
I will
if you
tell
don't
you
go.
this, man.
Yeah, that's
I've been
very-
on Tinder before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We're all like silent.
right,
judgment.
everybody's
No,
like,
no,
what is he gonna say?
Dude,
You can't
yeah.
say that. So, and I've seen people like women's profiles that say like, if like one of the requirements is like a college degree.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? I made more money than you did last year,
Yeah.
and I don't have a college degree.
It's just frustrating that these lines are drawn in the sand and
And if the issue
Like
I have with it,
imaginary lines.
yeah,
right? It's
imaginary
all
lines.
it is a representation. Like, so what is that? When you introduce me to people, you can say I went to Brown University.
No, I think it's them trying to like. It's almost like, you know, let's say you're applying to a job at Allen Lazarus LLC, and I'm one of those closed-minded people who's like, oh, you need a 4.0. Like, I'm not even going to look at it until
Right.
there's a 4.0. Generally speaking, honestly, first of all, the world runs on 3.5, not 4.0. But anyway,
See, that's an inside
that's
education joke I wouldn't get.
It's the whole thing, yeah.
You know?
But the point is like, you shouldn't. It's tough because, generally speaking, people who go to college tend to be more intelligent. But that's such a generalization. That's not true,
Right.
right? That's especially not in every case.
Well, how about this?
Some people go and don't learn.
exactly.
Well, that.
a lot
but
of people.
If
go
you're
and
doing
not learn.
percentages,
yeah.
every single doctor ever has gone to college.
Yes.
And doctors are widely recognized as smart people. Of course, it's going to be skewed.
There's a lot of dumb doctors, man.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
IQ wise,
there's a lot of-
maybe.
I think it's tough because it's almost like let's say we're at the club and there's a girl who in her head has decided you have to be 6 feet or up for me to even consider it.
The issue I have,
Yep.
Right,
sir.
what if they lose on the best person they could possibly meet, Kevin Palmieri?
Yes,
They
I
miss
am the
out
best.
on that by being closed-minded. It goes back to you saying being open-minded. And your dad and your mom gave you that in a sense of like, you don't have to go to college. They opened your mind to other possibilities. I always say you have to have a mind that is open enough to where you can gain new things, but not open enough to where you don't think there's confidence in what you do believe.
Right.
Because if you don't have enough confidence in your belief systems, you won't move forward. If you just think you're always wrong all the time, right?
Yeah.
But if you think you're always right, that's a whole nother thing too. You'll never learn.
Open-minded to other people's comments and stuff, but you don't want to take it too seriously all the time. Just like with the grip things we talked about, how
Exactly.
the guy said the forearms will
Elaborate
take
on
away.
that. So,
All right, so we have the Cobra grips, which it helps grip strength.
Yep.
So when you're working buys, it would take away from the forearms. And someone actually came up to me while this guy was telling me how the Cobra grips are really good, and he says, "Oh, those aren't good. They take away from your forearms, then you'll have little forearms and big arms." But really, I believed that in the moment, and then I talked to Alan a little later, and that maybe isn't the truth. And if I looked at the guy and noticed that his results were actually looking worse than the guy who told me the Cobra grips are good, it's just, you need to be aware and not too open-minded to take anyone's advice, but be aware.
be discerning.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Thank you for elaborating on that.
Yep.
I think that's a huge thing because Abraham Lincoln has a great quote. He says, "I've never met a man or a woman that I didn't learn from. But 99% of the time, it was what not to do."
Mm.
And I think that's true.
Abraham's a great guy.
Abraham, you gotta start
yeah.
hanging out with better people. You were the president. So what are you doing?
No, but like, you know what I
I'm
mean? And so,
Just kidding.
I
I met him.
love
Also-
I love how
I also
funny
met Abraham
Kevin's
Lincoln.
always throwing in the humdingers.
Gotta make people laugh, Alan.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You
man.
know?
Laughter is a beautiful
That's one of my
thing.
passions.
So in that instance, right? I think we're all trying to learn. We're all trying to improve. Well, okay, well, I guess we shouldn't assume that. But if we're trying to improve, whose advice do we take, and how do we know when it's valid? I honestly believe experimentation is critical. Like you've tried without Cobra grips.
Yeah.
I think giving it a shot
Right? Why
is
not?
a necessary part of being open-minded. And then if you don't think it's for you, Jim Rohn has a great quote that I live by. He says, be a great student, but don't be a follower. Everything you do should be the result of your own conclusion.
Yeah, you make the choice after if it's helpful for you.
With all the data.
You
Gain
don't
more
just-
data.
Yeah.
Make a choice.
But
just
don't
do
rely
because
on it
he
either,
does
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Test it out.
Yeah.
So you and I had this discussion the other day.
A tool, not a crutch.
It's a tool, not a crutch. So don't not do back day because you left your Cobra grips at home. You still got to get after it.
That's a fact.
You're still
Yeah,
gonna get
glad
after
you
it.
hit
Of
that.
course, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Would never.
should we tell that story quickly?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The watch you sit when you just muddy and you were like, oh, I don't have my headphones.
No,
on.
we talked about it on the last one. We can
That's
tell
true.
them.
Headphones are a tough one. You forget your headphones. I'm like,
But do you lift still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I-
Yes.
of course.
Jumped on it.
See, I don't ever forget my headphones because I always have 2 pairs in my bags.
Okay.
I'm always
I
over
have
prepared.
two
Yeah.
also
Why do you
now.
have 2 pairs in your bag? Probably because one time you forgot them once and you were like, oh,
Oh,
buy
for
another
sure.
pair. See?
Yeah, I
Fail
probably
forward.
took my pre-workout. I was like, oh, I got to the gym, don't know where my headphones are, and then I just probably went home.
So for them, what's another mistake? I'm sorry. I want to keep honing
In life?
because honestly, if I was 20,
Just
man,
like
I would
save money.
Yeah.
Save
Yeah.
money.
Save money.
Don't spend money on stupid things because you're not going to have them in 5 years. You're just not.
Yeah.
Like, don't. When I was 21, I spent $5,000 going to the bar in one summer.
Yeah.
I was going out 3 nights a week.
I've been saving right now.
I almost lost my job. I got
Oh,
so
wow.
drunk
It's getting
on a
real.
Friday night that my alarm went off in the morning. I showered twice because I was still drunk. I showered, fell asleep again, and showered again. My mom wouldn't let me leave because I was still drunk and I was trying to go to work. So I had to call into work. They were like, "Oh, we think you have an issue." It was a whole thing, as they say. But
Yeah.
don't. It's part of vision, man. Vision.
I had to take a leak.
Not having. Here we go.
No, keep going.
And not having
Over it,
vision was the biggest problem for me because not having vision was the ocean that all these other things ran to, like save more money, prepare for your future because you are mentally you're preparing for it because you're building the vision, but you got to do the things associated with it. So for you, sitting down and doing this is huge because this has to do with getting out of your comfort zone, which you're going to have to do if you want to be an entrepreneur. Same for you. Going to the gym with us today. You're coming and lifting with people who have been lifting for a long time and you ask for critique. Like, you guys are already doing the things that you need to do.
Yeah. I'm just right now looking for like more knowledge.
Right.
Just
What else are you
general.
doing to expand your comfort zones? Peas. Everybody's peeing. Everybody's
Yeah,
peeing.
we just drank so much water.
What do we got for?
and 10 in.
Okay, let's do another 20. Yeah. See? Great minds.
I want to ask Big Nate a question when he comes back, a deep one.
I like it.
But so we were talking about I was asking Pat what he was doing to expand his comfort zones because that's another one of my things. Trying to stay like within my comfort zone
Oh,
Was a
something
mistake?
I applied,
was a mistake.
I applied at any time
Okay.
to get a job there, even though I have a job that pays more right now, just because I know I'll be happier and more passionate
Ooh, I support that
at
fully.
the gym
Portion.
every day, because I'm already in the gym. I like to talk to people like when I saw you, Alan. Like, I like to talk to people in the gym, and just like in general.
Alan's laughing because he just made up a word and then
What'd
he
he
repeated the word. I don't even know what he said.
When you said you support that,
You said supportion. It's not a word. It's not a word.
It's like,
you call yourself a speaker,
Right,
sir.
right.
Enunciate the wrong word.
You know how they said like
It's-
Abortion.
It's support.
easy with it. Schmushmorshman.
It's the I support abortion. Oh my god, I'm pro-choice, obviously.
And then this is
Oh,
good. This
man.
podcast is gonna get pulled up in 20 years when you're running for president.
Dude.
And this is gonna be the one.
Just to be clear, I do not support abortion necessarily. Let's not get into it. Supportion is not a
don't need
word.
to.
I apologize.
Not a word.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to take away from what
No,
you were
it's
saying.
okay.
I'm so sorry.
You missed the whole
No.
thing, Nate. Alan cannot.
I
talk.
didn't hear you. I didn't hear you say it, so I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's he laughing at?"
Oh man.
If I heard it, that would have been funnier. Just like, what you just
The
say,
supportion?
abortion, just in the back.
I was trying to say that I support that.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, supportion came out.
You know, it's the whole
this is a
thing.
great podcast until I messed it
Big
all
Nate,
up.
I got a question.
Yep.
This is deep.
Mhm.
Are you insecure about your height? And I am. So I'm not. I don't want to like air you out and be
So
like,
that makes
oh,
it
shit.
okay that you asked.
No. It doesn't make it okay that. Well, yes, I think it does make it okay that I that I asked. But
Yeah.
the reason I ask is because when you said something about
Yeah.
height,
The
you
cutoff.
chimed in, and I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like you and I are similar on that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've always had like a chip on my shoulder too because I'm shorter. Like my mom will literally say like you have little man syndrome. Like if someone like gets in my face, like I will like fight them. Like, I don't care. I'll like get a rush of adrenaline and just like go right after him.
Yeah.
But like definitely because I hate being called short.
Right.
I hate when like feeling like people are like way taller than me, and like even like beginning of high school, a girl was like, I don't want to talk to you because
I've
you're
gotten
not
that.
tall enough.
It's such a
And I
thing.
was
I've
just
gotten
like, I
that.
was just like, what? Like that never
at the-
really like ran through my mind, and then it's just like, it's like, all right. Like,
Now you know it's an
Guessing
option.
You see
Yeah.
the positives, right? Now.
Yeah. And then like so like definitely like I guess I'm insecure about it in like some ways, but like other ways I guess I mean I like how I like how I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder because of it.
It motivates you.
Yeah, it does,
Motivation.
yeah.
Yeah, but you can look at the positives. It's not negative to be short. You can build muscle faster because you don't have as long as like limbs, you know?
You know, the issue is, so like he just said, he realized that it's almost like he got turned down because of that.
Mhm.
So now that's an option.
Yeah.
So that goes into the deck of cards associated with being short.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
So Kevin, add some value here because like he just said that like when you were 18, you were very insecure about it.
For sure. I still am insecure about it. For sure.
Yeah, but
For sure.
much less than you used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like you've transcended.
So the girl I'm talking to actually texted me and said, "Hey, I got a question for you." And she's like the same height as me. And I was like, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" And she said, "Would you mind if I wore heels?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. I see what's happening.
Yeah.
I see what's
Even
happening
like
here."
like prom's coming up, and I'm like, oh my
Dude.
cannot wear heels.
No,
So
you know
I
what it
gotta
is,
tell him-
man?
I don't want to like tell him like what.
Just
to
own
do,
it.
but
Just
it's
own
like,
it.
just
Who
own it.
cares, man?
yeah.
Because this is the thing. Okay, you're more worried about what other people think than the girl.
Yeah.
Right? Who cares? You're there with her. If you're there with a beautiful woman,
Yeah.
fuck everybody
Don't make
else.
the mistake of caring
That's
about the
that
little
is the
thing and-
honestly that is the advice I would give you.
This is tremendous
Just
value.
do. Who cares, man?
Mhm.
They're not you, and if she's there with you, she's there with you.
Yeah.
It'll be a mistake if you like try
That's
to change it.
that's
you
my
know?
third mistake: painting with other people's paintbrushes,
Yeah, man.
worrying too much, and I still do worry what people care or
Yeah.
worry what people think. Not as much.
But it's
the
a work
your
in progress.
Always.
on that.
Everything
It's the
is.
Same with me, I feel.
Your perception of yourself is critical, and I think people will see you as you see yourself. And if you are insecure about it, they're gonna notice it more.
Right? Like you're a
and
good-looking
it's-
dude. You're strong. You're
Yeah,
jacked.
man.
Like
You've
you're-
made up for it in every way.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that using that as motivation to become better is great. But if it holds you back in terms of, your own self-worth and your own self-value, I think that's no good. And again, I was fortunate enough to be 6'2", but I do know that when I was in 10th grade, I had hit a growth spurt. I grew 11 inches in 1 year.
Oh wow.
And so I went from like
I
one
did
of the
the-
shortest,
What about us?
I have a
one of
few
the
of those.
Hey, same here.
crazy. I went from one of the shortest in the grade,
Yeah.
this little red-faced kid to, oh, wow,
taller
I finally
red-faced
hit
kid.
puberty
Yeah.
my junior year. And then I started dating Jenny, actually. Then.
Jenny.
It's like it's weird. I have a twin brother, and he's like 5 inches taller than me.
Oh.
So he's like pretty average. He's
Yeah.
close to 6 feet. He's like right around there. And then there's me. I'm like 5 inches shorter than him. But like,
Dude, I like the chip on the shoulder thing because
Yeah.
that's me. Like
Yeah.
I've always been smaller than everybody else, but I've always been tougher.
Mhm.
I can take
Yeah.
a beating
Yeah.
in anything, in life, if we're fighting. I don't care if you beat me,
Yeah.
but I want you to say I'd never want to fight him again.
Mhm.
If I just want people to know, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't for you either. It doesn't matter.
No,
You're
it
gonna be
doesn't.
successful as you want to be.
You're going to be so over the top, incredible in all the other ways because of your motivation and your mindset that the height won't even be a
Right.
thing.
Right.
I mean, seriously. Like, I think that our greatest insecurity becomes our greatest strength if we use it to motivate ourselves to be better.
We got 3 minutes. Speed round.
3 minutes.
Throw something.
I think we should do the
Hour and a half.
the what?
You know, oh,
Yeah, I want to do an hour and a half.
oh, you said hour. Oh, you said 20 more minutes.
20 more minutes.
We're sorry.
I was like, wait, what? The time
Math
flies when you're having
is
fun, huh?
not my strong suit.
But I screw up one word and we're trying to get off.
I am. We're not even recording anymore. I shut it off and she started talking.
I think we should do. So your 3 mistakes. Let's get clear on those.
So vision,
Yeah. Lacking a vision.
caring too much what other people think.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
You had one more, which
Well,
was
spending money was,
Spending
Oh,
money,
but
yeah.
that's part of the
Saving
vision.
money,
so
yeah.
you should have saved more money, had a more clear vision, which I
Right.
think would have gotten you to save more money.
Right. That's what we came up with.
And then caring less
about
being
what people
short
think.
and what people think.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
doing my own thing because I can imagine exactly where you are.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to prom. This girl is gonna be taller than me.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take pictures, and everybody's gonna see the pictures, and everybody there is gonna see it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's like a
That
that's
is a
like
thing,
whole
man.
Me and Matt don't even.
Why? So I asked Ellen one time. I was like, "What do you think of when you walk into the bar?" And you don't answer this because you're underage. But Ellen's like, "I don't think of anything." You know what I think of?
Mhm.
It's giants everywhere.
Yeah, no.
Nobody's gonna notice me
Yeah.
behind these two people. They can't see me.
Well,
Yeah, I
granted,
guess
you're going to the bar with
even
me and
like
Matt.
I guess you wouldn't notice this unless you were like
Yeah.
that height. You
I am
you
super jacked,
wouldn't
though.
really-
yeah, it might even be like only like a few inches, like 2 or 3, but like you still feel like you're.
It's hard,
like,
man.
You're tiny.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
even if someone's a little taller than me, I'm like, what? Usually I'm the tallest. I don't
So
like
imagine that, but the opposite.
it. Yeah, everyone's taller.
The
Yeah,
opposite.
That would suck.
But
That-
I think that I
in a
do.
way, but
Yeah, take it easy. Take it easy, sir.
in a way.
I think
Like-
that I do better in that arena at the bar than you do.
For sure.
Only because, not because I'm taller,
I
but because of the
100%.
perception about it. Right? Like, I'm not thinking of anything. You're thinking of all the insecurity. So you're going to be in that more fearful place in
Right.
that arena.
Right. And I
I'm
don't
not
really-
whereas I'm not fearful. If you're fearful, I think it's going to put you in a less resourceful state
I agree.
to be at your best.
And I don't really even have any like horror stories of like, oh yeah, I went up to a girl at the bar and she just outright rejected me.
Yeah,
That
it's
has
mostly in your
never
head.
happened to me.
Mhm.
Yeah. And by the way, tall people deal with that too.
Well,
Trust
yeah,
me.
not out.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
not just-
But I think it's huge, man. I think admitting it and then trying to figure out like it just coming up with things like push your comfort zone.
Yeah.
One of the things I was supposed to do I was supposed to hit on the tallest girl at the bar. Me and Andrew came up with that, and it just never happened. But I
Yet.
should have done it.
Hasn't
Yet.
happened yet.
But
Yeah.
Tallest girl at the bar or tallest girl at the gym?
I don't like the gym thing.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
my I don't
Yeah, I can't. I
don't say
think I
can't.
could
You could if you
talk-
wanted to.
I could.
I have done it, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't like to shit where I eat, as they say.
Interesting.
The gym is my zen place, man. I don't want to
All
bring
right.
stress.
I've
Alright.
brought like my girlfriend to the
Yeah,
gym
yeah, for
before,
sure.
But like
Nothing better than working
yeah.
out with a significant other.
It's the best.
Yeah.
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 How's that going?
well, we broke up.
Oh,
I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, jeez, I
It's-
should
it's
see.
all right.
You take
Alan.
a risk, you throw a question
all right.
out, you can throw it right back.
Can't win them all.
Yeah.
So I will talk about my biggest, I wouldn't call them regrets, biggest mistakes.
Right.
I think those are huge, by the way.
Hammer them quick, because I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to. So I think we should get a progress report of how they feel right now,
Yeah.
and,
And
then
where they want to.
Where do you Where do you be realistic?
How do we get to the next level?
How do you get to the next level?
and
Yeah.
what's the overall vision?
So hammer your 3, and then let's get theirs.
So not reading. I don't know if you guys read. And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. I'm not judging it because I fucking did not read.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake of my life. Not reading books. I read a book a week at least now. Do you guys read? No. So
No.
audiobooks.
yeah.
On my phone, I have hundreds.
Well, so
And-
if you listen to podcasts, though, all right. So
I listen
okay,
to
yeah, that's
podcasts,
true.
Yeah.
right, that's
true.
kind of.
It's not the same.
It's
Yeah,
not the
not
same,
the
but
same, but-
what I'm saying is,
But yes. Yeah. They're educating.
I'm
They're
def-
self-educating.
I'm definitely going to be watching more podcasts, like even like before bed, like you, just like laying there listening to them, just
Love it.
hearing the words.
Expanding your mind.
isn't
Yeah.
this a book? Isn't what we're doing right now a book?
No.
Why not?
Because it's not backed up by nearly as much. It's a different package.
Okay.
So it's a different medium. It's different. It's like a
Yeah.
movie versus a book versus a podcast. They're all
Different
tools
base.
in your tool belt, Kevin, of your mind.
Right.
Wow, I'm talking down to you a little bit. I'm sorry.
Anytime she says my name
I got
in
a
the
little
middle.
I got a little coachy there. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But seriously, they're tools in your tool belt that are different. You know, and the wrong tool for the wrong job. Not leveraging all of the tools, I think, is a mistake.
Okay, so how much have you learned from non-books?
Oh, so much.
Right. So I feel like
But I think the books gave me the science behind a lot of things that now I can bring down to earth. Books are
Kinda
more
see the
theory.
mechanics more.
Yeah,
I'm
well, I think
intrigued.
the way I see,
intrigued
remember
by
I
this.
told you the cloud above each of our heads has data points. Those are data points of knowledge.
Right.
The more data points of knowledge, scientific facts, truths, whatever you want to call them, that you have, the easier you can connect the dots. And the more you can connect the dots, the more you can come up with principles on how to behave, how to think, how to act, how to live life successfully based on your own goals and dreams, your true north,
Makes
so
sense.
to speak. I think that that's the clouds. That's the theory. In practice, it's the doing of what those dots connect that's important, but I think you need the dots. I don't think people have enough dots. I know that I don't. Every book that I read gives me more dots to eventually connect, because life really is much more simple when you understand. Like, for example, I always use the chess analogy. A chess master versus a grandmaster. A chess master can play one game of chess against me or you. A grandmaster can play 50 of us simultaneously.
Right.
And the difference is that they've mastered it to a whole. They have more dots when it comes to certain moves and strategies in that chess game than the master does. Master versus grandmaster is a huge leap because the grandmaster has far more dots to connect, and they can do it on this. Remember what I said about the subconscious mind, the 4K pixels
Yeah.
versus the 1 pixel? it's all subconscious. Grandmasters, I've literally done studies. There's a book called The Art of Learning by, I'm going to forget the author. He was on Tim Ferriss's podcast. So fascinating. I found that author on a podcast, read the book. It's a whole thing.
As they say.
But he said that one of the people he interviewed, which is a chess master, literally says that I don't know the exact move I'm going to make. I just look at the board and I have a gut feeling. The subconscious mind communicates with us with a gut feeling. When you have a gut feeling to get out of a room or to get out of there, it's usually something that you aren't conscious of telling you to get out of here or whatever. And so the more theory you have, the more data you have. I always use the analogy of like, and I'll be quick with this. I'm sorry. So
Alan always says,
you need
to make the story short.
You know how you said to save more money?
Yes.
You need to let's say you took $100 and put it in a bank every month for the last 10 years. You'd have so much that you can draw on.
Yep.
I do that with knowledge.
I like that. That's a good analogy. Easily the best analogy you've ever used. Hands down. That's a great one.
Thank you.
Save that. For sure.
And I can pull stuff out of my butt of data, like quotes and stuff, because I've been investing.
You know a lot of quotes.
Yeah,
I'm using that as the 1 minute goal.
Not to mention it builds credibility.
You keep it all in your storage, and it comes up when you need it. When you're talking about it, you'll just think of that.
Yeah. It'll just come to you.
Like the quotes.
Some of the things I'll like think about and
Alan knows
just
so many
add in,
quotes.
you know, and just
So many
I feel like I've taken them from other things, other experiences.
All right, hammer those other two.
So reading was the number one. I definitely think that I didn't focus enough on making sure I was in the right rooms, and more importantly, staying out of the wrong ones. So that's a huge one. Just really be cognizant of, rather than like, I used to want to make a lot of money, and I made a lot of money in corporate America. I was much more focused on making money than I was on what am I becoming here? What am I becoming? Who am I? Right? And I think that character should become first, money should follow.
Agreed.
So that's my second mistake. And then my third mistake was definitely bad habits when it comes to alcohol. If you value your health, prove it. Prove it with your actions. If you value your mind and body, and you're boozing up a storm every other week, every weekend, you don't value your mind and body. I'm gonna believe the hangovers more than your words. And I could have said like, oh yeah, I value my health. Like I go to the gym, I play basketball. No, you drink every Thursday. You're destroying your mind and body. I was at the chiropractor not long ago. There's a picture of a brain of an 18-year-old person who drank for 5 years, who did heroin for 5 years, who did coke for 5 years, who did caffeine for 5 years, who did nothing for 5 years. The brain's scans are scary. You are destroying your mind with booze, with substances, with drugs. A little bit is okay, but I didn't do a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've been there as well.
Yep.
All right, so you two, progress report of your life, like right now. Are there any things that you are trying to like kick? Not like substances, but like, is there something that you're doing that you're like, shit, I know I have to like figure this out because this is not helping me get where I need to go. And if it's too personal, you don't have to say it, but I think that it's important to admit stuff like that.
For sure.
I feel like right now I'm just doing all that I need to do now, and I'm just making sure that I do, really. I feel like there's not much I need to kick besides improving myself and what I'm doing right now.
You don't think you have any habits that aren't getting you closer to your goals and dreams?
Yeah, maybe I do. I guess
Even if it's something simple, like, I watch a little too much Netflix.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you buy coffee. If money, like, so
Yeah.
for me, money, I'm trying to save more money. I should not buy coffee. I should make coffee at home.
That's a
Well,
simple example.
Simple.
Yeah.
I had the problem of I'd smoke marijuana basically like every day, all day, and
A lot of people are in that place.
For sure.
very lazy. And at this point, I've basically like cut it down a lot.
Good for you, man.
And I really only at night. I don't during the whole day, so I can make it to the gym and be focused. Because I burn out if I were to
Real
smoke in
talks,
the
man.
Yeah, man.
morning.
for you.
Because like, and I used to do it when I woke up. I'd turn over, hit whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's like I wake up and I'm like, I'm putting my gym clothes on. I'm gonna go drink a protein shake and get to the gym or
I
something.
love it.
Like,
That's
I
a
think
different
that's
life
huge.
in 10 years.
I think that's
It's
huge.
a
Yeah,
different
and-
life, man. That one little shift changes everything.
And I mean, I don't know. I still see benefits in marijuana, and I still do use it, but I'm trying to slowly cut it more and more out, and maybe completely one
So
day.
master and slave.
Yeah.
Like you always say.
Yep.
Master and slave. If what you're doing is controlling you, right? It's not a tool anymore.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what it was becoming.
Yeah.
And then I realized I have to be having a good, happy mindset while I'm healthy and sober. Like,
Right.
I have to have a healthy mind and focus.
I'll be
Yeah.
straight up. I smoke before I go to the gym. A lot. I
Sometimes
also
I
have
do.
ridiculously better workouts when I do that.
Sometimes, yeah, that used to help me a lot too. But
But-
I've noticed like I need to be able to focus to run sometimes.
No, that's totally
You know?
do you for sure.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I will not make an excuse like, oh, I can't smoke, so I'm not going to go to the gym. Like that's not it.
No,
I use it as a tool. It helps me it helps me feel better. I feel looser at the gym. I don't have as much
Exactly.
shoulder pain.
Yep.
It's just a fact.
But the moment you require it,
The moment you require it, then
When
it
you
is
become the
now
slave.
you become the
Yeah.
slave to it. So make sure that
tools
And-
versus
and-
Once you
Band-Aids.
start smoking like every day before the gym, it gets too much. Like,
Right.
That would be too much.
Right,
But
and-
like once in a while, you use it as like a tool, like you guys are saying. It's always used in moderation, which I've learned, and not just used to cope with everyday.
so like you said, you've
things.
learned, and now
I've learned,
and
yes,
now you're trying to change
definitely.
that. So that's
Yeah.
a good thing. That's a beautiful
And I
thing.
use it in moderation now, and
I think that
it's
one
beneficial
shift,
in a lot of ways. Like
That's huge.
that one shift is, I mean, 6 months, 6 years, 6 decades. That's a whole different life.
Yeah.
Right? Waking up and smoking weed versus not.
Right.
That's a different life. I
Yeah.
want everyone to realize that the power of one habit change
Yep.
changes everything. Maybe not right away, but
you
eventually.
got to remember that you'll feel healthier if you just keep on track. You know,
Yeah,
like
man.
instead of waking up like sometimes I'll wake up, I'll have I still do sometimes have the urge to just smoke in the morning to feel good. You know.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like maybe my stomach hurts or something.
Yeah.
But really, I just need to get something healthy in my body,
Amen.
food-wise, get to the gym, and get a healthy workout.
Yep.
After I walk out, I didn't need to smoke, and I don't even want to anymore.
I love it, man. The
Yeah.
Goldilocks approach to life. If it's working, do more of it.
Yeah.
If it's not working, do less of it and find that balance constantly. And as your goals change, as you change, that is going to be constant.
It's all about balance.
That's why if
It's
I
always
take
a
a day
balance.
off the gym, I feel crazy. You know, like
Yeah.
I need to be in there. So
Well, I think
keeps
that's
my
a good
mind
habit.
off bad habits. So
Big Nate, what do you got?
good.
Probably the biggest thing is just like controlling my stress because I get super stressed out to the point where I'm just not myself anymore, and it'll happen like at certain points, and like I think my dad gets this way too because sometimes he won't sleep because he gets super stressed, but I think like just control like I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, but just like controlling how like stressed I am, how like I guess how big of an emphasis I put on like
Coping
certain
with
things.
stress.
Yeah.
You have trouble sleeping at night because you stay up thinking?
Like yeah, sometimes I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I used to
so
have
like
that
I
though.
feel like that, and then
So-
like, trying to like make sure to like do right by others before myself too. I think that like will contribute to it too.
18 years old,
Make
man.
everyone
I know,
happy.
right?
So
Yeah.
good.
Just realize this. Realize that people say this all the time. If you can't control it, don't stress it.
Mhm.
You can train your mind to realize that.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to bed and I will literally say, nope, not tonight. Like
Yeah.
I cannot do anything about this.
Mhm.
It's gonna happen either way.
Yeah.
Let's just get some sleep.
Yeah.
Me staying up thinking about it is not gonna change it.
Yeah.
I think
You
this,
just say, yeah, it's bad, it's negative. Let's just not think about it, and let's think of the positive
Right.
that's gonna happen.
Like we had all day to think
Without
about
that.
this. Why do we have to? We don't have to do
Yeah.
this right now.
No, we go to bed.
We go to
wake
bed.
up and have a good day.
Yeah.
Like that's the you just
I
have
deal
to
with that
have
too.
that mindset.
I deal with that too, man. Hotel to hotel, like I have trouble sleeping a lot.
You got to shake off the negativity and just
Yep.
think positive.
Yep.
That's it.
Interesting. So I usually ask people 3 questions. The first question is, do you focus more on what you can control or what you can't control, do you think?
Probably what I can't control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you focus more on what's good in your life, like what you do have or what you don't have?
I mean, probably like when I'm stressed out, obviously like what I don't have.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like for the most part, I feel like I'm a pretty positive person.
And grateful. I
Yeah.
feel that too.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
that way
Me
as
as
well.
well.
I
Agreed,
figured, yep. And then the third one is, do you think more about the past, the present, or the future?
Probably the future, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be a great entrepreneur.
Right.
So typically people who are super, I would say, unhappy or who lack peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
they
Thinking of the
focus more
past.
on what they can't control.
Yeah.
They focus more on what they don't have, and they focus more about the traumas of the past.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs tend to bounce from future to present. They reflect on the past occasionally to
Yeah.
get the learning and the growth,
Yeah.
which we did today.
Yeah, that's
But most of the time, they're looking at the future. Like
Yeah.
for me, I'm thinking about January 13th speech and what I'm going to say
Yeah.
and how I'm going to involve this
Mhm.
guy. Like, and that stresses you out a little
Yeah.
bit. Because people who are really, 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 really happy tend to be really good at just being here and now.
Right.
But that's not good for creating a brighter future either.
Yeah.
You got to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
So learn from the past, think about the future, but try to enjoy right now.
Learn from the past and more take good experiences from the past instead of dwelling on the bad experiences.
Yep.
I feel like I've dealt with this. Like, my mind was just in the past for months, like, on end, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like now I'm finally moving more of a present set mind.
Yeah.
Just to do what, like, today type
Good,
of thing.
man. Yeah.
And
This is
future.
comfort zone
And
shit, man.
future.
This is comfort
I
zone.
call it clouds and dirt. The clouds are your vision. You know, you're thinking 10 years down the road. Jenny always says, Alan, you're always 10 years ahead of yourself. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, so seconds turn into minutes, minutes turn into hours, hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into years, and years turn into decades, and decades turn into your life. I say focus on the decades and the seconds. What I want to create in this decade, become in this decade. That's the vision. Have a strong, compelling vision. And then what am I doing this second to get closer to that?
This is like a quote from a motivational video, like one of those that I've watched. Like, they've said that, like, you have to look way down the road.
Yep.
And you have to do it now.
And you have to do it now.
You have to work
You have
for
to act
it now.
as if right now.
Yeah.
What I'm doing this second
Helping
getting me closer to
Right.
that vision? And if the answer is no, change it.
Yep.
If the answer is yes, keep doing it.
Double down.
And double down. Yep.
You guys have any tidbits? Anything you want to leave with? Anything you want to tell the fans? Anything you can sing? Whatever. Like knit something.
I appreciate you guys having
Well, thank
us
you for
on
coming
here,
on,
and I'm
for
happy
sure.
to be here.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Dude,
Definitely
this is
awesome to learn.
this is
Happy
huge,
to learn.
huge comfort zone things. So I'm very happy you guys came on because it's in line. We're all in line trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Trying to figure life out, trying to get better.
Trying to get better.
And you guys are doing the same. So I'm very appreciative to have you guys on.
So impressed with both of you.
Thanks
I
for the
know.
opportunity.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Thank
Alan.
you all for listening. And
You do the sign.
conversations change lives. Stay
When they're hyperconscious.
I was just gonna say stay
Sorry.
hyperconscious. No,
Sorry.
but seriously, like until you know why something is the way it is, you have no power to change it.
Also, I'll be releasing this Sunday. So if you guys hear this, don't do anything stupid on New Year's. Be safe. Get a designated driver.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely be safe. Have an awesome New Year's.
Yeah, I
Let's
kind of ended negative there.
it's all right. Let's
stay safe.
Let's make 2018 better than 2017.
For sure.
And this is our decade.
For sure.
You know, like always think that way. Clouds
Always.
and dirt. You know, get your hands dirty in the moment, but keep that vision strong. And have a very happy New Year with the people you love.
All right, we're going to sign off. And we're out.